the Phenotype worksheet. Individuals, you'll all be filling out yes or no for different phenotypes, but you may not understand what the particular phenotype is talking about. So let's take a look at the worksheet, which is on the screen. And you'll notice on the screen here that you have several different traits that say attached earlobes, blue eyes, blonde hair, red hair. So some of these are pretty obvious, but some of these may not be. So for example, if we're talking about attached earlobes, I'm going to show you what this looks like and you can figure out what you have. Attached earlobes, a person's ears go into the head like this. If it's unattached, then the person has the little earlobe that you see hanging down. So this is attached, where it goes into the side of your cheek, and this is unattached, right, which a lot of people have. If you wear earrings, you can see here the little earring would hang down like that. So that's the attached earlobes trait. Blue eyes are pretty obvious. Short. For short, we're talking about for women, 5'2" or less, and for men, 5'6" or less. Red hair. Blonde hair is obvious. Red hair. Some of you have the red hair gene. What we mean by the red hair gene is if you go out in the sun, you get the red highlights. So you may have brown hair and a red hair gene. So if you have highlights that are natural from sunlight, you probably have the red hair gene in addition to having a brown or another color. Dimples. Of course, dimples, we're talking about the little dimples in your cheeks, right? If we're talking about curly hair can be curly, wavy, or kinky hair versus straight. So any of those possibilities qualify for the curly hair gene. Cleft chin. If you look at someone's chin, they have this little indentation here. So cleft chin is in the chin area, and you have a little cleft over here. Here's your face. Okay, a little smile. And dark skin, obvious. Oriental eyes would be slanted eyes versus round eyes. Okay, a hitchhiker's thumb. I don't have one. I don't know if any of my cohorts do. A hitchhiker's thumb would curve back. Let me see if these people do. This is a hitchhiker's thumb. Notice how it goes back. Mine does not. So that's a hitchhiker's thumb. Thank you, my volunteers. Your second toe longer than your first. If you look at your feet, your second toe may be longer. Extended articulation. If you can take your finger down to your wrist without breaking your hand, that's extended articulation. 6 fingers or 6 toes. Most of you probably visibly don't have 6 fingers or 6 toes. If you have, it's usually linked to a recessive, linked to a lethal gene. So 5 fingers, which most of you have, is actually a recessive trait because 6 fingers is dominant. Webbing between your fingers and toes, I don't have it, but some people have webbing between their fingers and toes. Hairy ears. Now this is something you would see only in men. And the hairy ears, the hair is actually coming out of the inside. They're little tufts of hair that come out on the inside of the ear. So that's hairy ears. And only men have it. So if you find a woman that's got this, she's not a woman. Okay. Colorblind. Colorblind is usually affects males. It's X-linked. PTC taster, it's a really bitter tasting thing. Baldness is another one that affects men. See if you know what your blood type is. Straight pinky finger. A straight pinky finger is a situation where see mine all go in this way. A person has a straight pinky finger, there's a big gap on the top of it. I have a curved pinky finger. Okay, is that straight? And here we have a straight pinky finger. It's got a space on the top, okay? The next one, index finger greater than your ring finger. This is different between males and females. So in females, the index finger, I'll show it from the back, the index finger is longer than the ring finger, but in males, it's opposite. So it's dominant in females and it's recessive in males. Huntington's, hemophilia, sickle cell are different diseases. Left thumb over your right. Take your hands, cross your hands, and see what thumb is on top. Then try and do it the opposite way. It's much more difficult. You have to kind of practice. It's much more difficult to do it in the opposite direction. This is a dominant trait, the left thumb over right. Betaine secretor, if you eat some beets and you have blood red urine, then you're a betaine secretor. Alkaloid secretors, if you eat asparagus, You will know if you're an alkaloid secretor because you'll have a really terrible smell. With widow's peak, I have one. You can see there's a little V in the top of my hair, the little vampire V.
Okay.
So that's a widow's peak. Some people have a straight hairline. That's a widow's peak. Tongue rollers, we're talking about rolling the sides of your tongue. That's tongue rolling.
Oh, here, look, get some of that.
Okay, I cannot flip my tongue. Some people can turn their tongues over. If you're a tongue flipper, good for you. Mid-digital hair is any hairs on this part of your fingers. I don't have any. Photic sneeze reflex. Some people wake up in the morning when the sun comes out and they sneeze 3 times, 3 or 4 times. And if that happens, you have the photic sneeze reflex. My husband has that. Thick eyebrows is almost like the unibrow. Freckles, a lot of freckles. Lactose intolerant, farsighted, nearsighted. You might be able to fill out some of the other ones yourself depending upon if you wear glasses or not. But what I want you to do is I write down yes or no for this worksheet, and then on the very bottom, after you download this, I want you to add on the bottom, write down the 3, oops, so I can't type, 3 dominant traits that you have, and underneath that, write down 3 recessive traits that you have. Okay, so this way you can put down what those are. If, for example, you have something that's recessive, let's look at this, red hair, which is dominant, and you don't have red hair, you don't have red hair, then your recessive would be non-red hair. If you have straight hair, you can say non-curly hair, because that would be a straight, that would be a recessive trait. 5 fingers everybody has, that's recessive. Most people find an easy time finding dominance, but it's a hard time to find some of the recessive. So a recessive could always be the opposite. Widow's peak, if you don't have that, then you have a non-widow's peak, and that's your recessive. So once you fill in your yes and no columns, then you can figure out what you have on the bottom. If you have any questions with this, shoot me an email, and when I look at your worksheet, I'll be able to help you out. Good luck. Thanks.